Sorry, just stepped away for a moment there. We don't know what Kenny's got. Rogers has got Queen 6 and Aston with the 2 diamonds. Board is Queen 10, 6, 7. 4 clubs. Everybody a bit cautious if they haven't got any clubs. Aston is bet at. Here 55,000. And a call from Rogers. Rogers can only lose the hand if he folds. Option is with Aston. And he checks, and Rogers turns over the queen and scoops a pot 231,000, 125,000 profit. And Aston will be thinking to himself, I could probably have bet there and got away with it, but we're all wise after the event, of course. Your chip counts there. Was at the top of the tree after taking David Rosenthal out. I don't know what the hold up is on the feature table. The clock is running. Let's just take a look at the adder table here. A real who's who of poker in South Africa, as I said. Edgar, Abdul, Rudolph Fourie, Rakesh, Sean Govender, Jules Levine, Gerald Solomon, Alvin Pillay. You know, the names go on and on and on. Okay, there seems to be some sort of issue. They're going to pause the clock, so we're just going to go off picture for a moment. And we'll bring you back the feed as soon as we can. Obviously, there's a bit of a technical issue, and we'll come back. So we're going to take we're going to continue to watch the games on the outside here, and once the clock has paused, I'll find out what the technical issue was, and we'll give you some more information on the stream. At the moment, we're watching the secondary table. We haven't got any audio here. Mr. Neil Singh standing behind Tabu, our dealer. Neil's a stalwart of dealing in South Africa. Top man and a gentleman to boot, and always happy to assist. Looks like we're losing Edgar from the outer table. So we could be down to 14 here, quite possibly. And it looks like Abdulessa is the benefactor of his chips. Okay, I still have no news from the floor, so we'll carry on watching the outer table. The main table is paused for some reason. It's not electrical. It's not one of my faults, so I can assure you of that. And it does. I think I've got confirmation now that Abdul was the benefactor. 35 minutes on the level. We'll go back to the shot of the outer table. They continue to place. The clock hasn't been paused. Player's been paused. I can see on my other cameras that the player's been paused, but the camera's not been paused. So we'll come back to you with some detail on that as soon as we know what's happening. I wouldn't know what's happening. I think we just got one of our players a bit uncomfortable with something on the feature table, so our management team will be sorting that out. We're going to just carry on watching the outer table, and without the audio, of course, and I'll try my best to invent some commentary around it. Okay, looks like we got Rakesh on the button, Sean in the small, George is obviously in the big blind, and under the gun is Jared Solomon to the right of the picture with a coffee in his hand with the black t-shirt. Jared recently had the deep run in the WSOP in Las Vegas, came 73rd. Huge achievement for Jared. And I had the privilege in Port Elizabeth of spending a couple of hours with Jared and talking to him about his experiences and the support he received from South Africa. Jared folds under the gun, Alvin Pila to act. Pile, should I say. Alvin, a great character from Durban. Love playing with Alvin, and actually I love having him in the commentary box as well. He's a super guy. Comes across as being very, very quiet, but he's actually a very knowledgeable poker player and always a pleasure to have at the table. Okay, looks like we got play resuming on our feature table, so I'm going to go back there. We'll pick up the audio from the side. We got Moaz under the gun with 10-4 off. Pretty sure they're going in the muck. Huawei Sun with 9-3. They're getting the mug. Greg is already getting rid of his. So is Lenny with his 96 off. Jack 2 for Aston's son. Aston's Xiong. Don't be fooled by his Asian name. He's more South African than most South Africans. And on the button, he fancies a piece of this. So he's going to raise there and see if he can pick up the blinds. Kenny's going to defend. You can see it straight away. Kenny 8-7 offsuit in the big blind. So Jack 2 Ace-7. Interesting flop coming. Flop comes 9-10 King. Rainbow flop. Of course, Kenny has flopped the up and down straight draw here. There's a gut shot for our friend Aston. So I think there'll be a bet and a call. Indeed, that's what happens. So we're going to see a turn. There's the ace. Might slow down the action a little tiny bit. There's a check from Kenny, maybe a check back from Aston. Check, check. River card comes. It doesn't deliver anything. It's a brick. So I think, although Aston's got a lock on this with Jack high, I think, nope, Kenny's decided that he's not going to get involved. He shows his up, down and his missed draw, and the queen high of Aston will pick up the chips. 144,000 in the pot, 84,000 the profit, and Aston will be happy to receive those chips. Okay, so we go to the next hand. Quick look at the chip counts. Monsterjam Poker 2, Superslam 60k buy-in in Sibaya. Moaz Ghani at the top of the tree, 1.6 million. Kenny Morgan, 1.2 million. Huawei Sun, 1.2 million. So we have 3 millionaires on the table. Huawei Sun under the gun. I think Huawei will fancy a piece of this. He's shown a propensity to like to play these pseudo connectors, and these are two picture cards as well. And let's be honest, the King of Hearts and the Queen of Hearts are very, very pretty cards. So I like to play those, and he does like to play them. I'm absolutely right. Do not be alarmed, folks. We're not having an earthquake. Somebody must have hit the truss that supports our cameras. So there are no earthquake warnings here in KZN. Just the wobbly truss from somebody hitting the camera supports. And so far so good. A bit of respect shown to Huawei. Looks like Kenny's going to be interested. And Kenny with the pocket sevens. As the pros say, sevens always coming. Moaz has got one of his out, 7-2. They're going in the muck. And we're going heads up. Under the gun, small blind. Ace Jack 2 hearts. So Huawei would be very happy with that. It's gone check, has it? I'm not sure. No, I think Kenny has checked, and Huawei's going to bet his flush draw. He can also rep the ace there, and then Kenny can get away from this very, very easy. But Kenny's having none of it. He likes his sevens. And there's a 10. So the straight gets there also if he puts him on the Jack 10. Or the Queen 10, should I say. King 10 even. King Queen even. The straight gets there. And he's going to bet his straight. Unless Kenny's got a live read on Sun, Kenny has to lay this down, I'm sure. Yeah, and I think that's a wise move by Kenny. He got to look at the turn, and you know what is if the guy's already got the straight and he hits a 7 on the river, what's he going to do? And Mr. Sun shows it, so Kenny will be happy with his laydown there and the way in which that hand was conducted. So the blinds are 8,000, 16,000, 16,000 on the big blind ante. We're on day 3 here on the 16th of September 2019 from the beautiful Sun's Sibaya Casino and Entertainment World. Big shout out to our partners, the Hendon Mob, Global Poker Index, and of course our sponsors Aquavita Water and Regal Hospitality and Events. Thank you for your continued support. This is your feature table. I believe we're down to 15 players. There's only 2 tables left in the Superslam, 60k buy-in. Looking forward to seeing the prize pool published today. And Mr. Sun there, who is a Chinese national out of Botswana, currently working in the East Africa region, just picked up a nice pot. And we're ready for our next hand. Under the gun will be Greg Ronaldson. I think that's our first complete circuit. Our first orbit. Greg started the day with being under the gun. So our first orbit of the feature table is completed. Greg, former full-time professional, now a family man. Still does a bit of coaching on the side, and a very, very accomplished player. Just because he's not a full-time player anymore doesn't mean he's not a pro, trust me. He's a very, very good player, Greg. Lenny gets his cards in the muck. Aston follows very quickly. Rogers, this is the first time we're going to see him enter into the fray with his pocket sixes. Someone asked me the other day, how do I sum up Rogers? I said interesting. Because I can't work him out. I mean, some days he's very aggressive, sometimes passive, sometimes tight, sometimes loose. And I haven't quite picked up a trend from him, but what I have picked up is he's a lovely fella. I get to chat to him a bit, and a nice man. I have no idea why we're on the outside table, unless it was folded all the way around. In fact, it was. I'm just catching up here. My tech team are ahead of me. So I think the default position between hands now is the outer table. Okay, Lenny Freeman is under the gun on the feature table. We spoke a little bit about Lenny the other day. Lenny's been playing poker for quite a long time, but not really seriously in the arena he finds himself in now. That's Lenny sort of top left of picture, to the left of, as we look at it, of Aston. And Lenny is in seat 4 today. Started the day with 624,000 chips. So no small or mean task that he's mixed it up with the big guys. Always a pleasure to see Lenny on the table. Always got a smile on his face. He's here with his dad this week, and his dad is an absolute gentleman. You'll see him running around on one of these mobility scooters, and happy to stop and chat, and very proud of his son's achievements, and so he should be. You know, really nice fellow, Lenny. Okay, it's folded around. Nobody has a hand here. So Sun in the small blind. I think he's got to get rid of 52 offsuit, but we'll see. Yeah. And he gives Greg the walk, who has him dominated with a 10. Nobody likes giving the big blind a walk, but sometimes it's the discretion is the better part of valor.
Earlier when you put in the chips, you put in all your chips. Always.
I have a flask of, well, my drinking cup of tea has arrived.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm sure I saw my wife walk in here, nodding the technical team. Please don't put that out on the stream that I didn't notice my wife was here. That would not be good for marital affairs.
40K or 35K. You put in 35, you didn't get 15 change. But you like change. The way you play,
I like it. So do you want to give me
then
some
you're a
change?
very bad habit.
No, we say when you play in the hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you're in the hand, like this 5,000. Instead of putting 2 pins, put this and you get 3 back. I'm saying.
Try to speed it up.
No, it's we're all
Every time.
16,000. You're fresh. What's the word? Superstitious. You know how to spell that, Mr. Sun?
So,
You also don't know how to spell 1,000.
I've got a new person to the commentary desk going to join us shortly, Mr. Monsterjam Amir. Monsterjam has been on the circuit for a little while and had some nice chats, and I've been on the same table a few with him. So, in the interest of keeping my vocal cords rested, I'm going to just call him Amir, and he's happy with that. I'm just about to put his mic live.
Yes, it is. Thanks. Thank
Hey,
you.
Amir, how's it?
Good, and you?
Awesome. How's Sibaya treating you?
Well, good so far. We had the freeze out now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I just got knocked out. Pocket sixes against Ace King Diamonds. Pocket sixes held.
Who knocked you out? Let me go get them.
Chrissy.
Chrissy Lute.
Chrissy.
Chrissy Lute.
Yeah.
Chrissy Lute. Yeah, I'll go beat him later for you, don't worry. Well, their loss is our gain, Amir. Nice to have you in the commentary
Thank
box.
you
First
so
time
much.
doing the commentary?
First time.
First time. So it's quite interesting getting an overview of all the players' cards open.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
This is the best seat in the house as a poker pro, trust me.
Definitely.
All right, so what we normally do, and I'm just going to sort of ease you into it here, is
Yes.
we talk about the time of day, but we talk about the cards as well. There's no hard and fast rules to commentary. I mean, yesterday we had Gareth Hudson in here, and Gareth and I are almost a comedy act. Well, we try to. I don't know how many people laugh at our jokes, but there you go. Anyhow, I don't know how well you know the players at the feature table, but
I know a few of them.
okay, that's good.
Kenny Abdul was good player.
Yeah, Kenny's a super player. Huh? You know, I mean, which shows by his results, of course. And Abdul, of course, you know, he's Player of the Year on the Shuffle Up Tour
Yes.
last year. And well,
Pocket Kings.
let's just jump in here. Aston's got Pocket Kings, and Kenny's already raised to 36,000. What do you fancy here from Aston? It's got to be a repop, huh?
Re-raise.
Yeah,
Today.
definitely a re-raise. What sort of number do you think he should be putting out there? I mean, if it was you, what would you put out there? Already 36,000 a raise.
Double that.
At least double. Yeah.
That's
At
double.
least double. I fancy 150 to be honest, but let's see what he does. 92,000. So we were both right, really.
Yeah.
It's in the middle.
In the middle.
Not that it's a competition.
Can
So
you call?
Kenny can't call here, can he? He does call. Floating with 8-6. Now this is what the top players do. You know, they float with these odd cards, and you know sometimes they hit them. Now Pocket Kings are good here with a flop that's 2 clubs, Jack 10 and 5.
Guessing Aston will ship.
Yeah, no. It's got a $500,000 behind, and Kenny's sat there with a pretty deep stack, probably just 2.5 times his. I was going to say a controlling bet somewhere around 150. Yeah, it is 155, and you know that's asking Kenny a very big question here. Have you got a hand? Is basically what he's going to say. Now Kenny's going to just take his time. Kenny won't donk off his chips easily. You know what has Kenny got on the flop here? Not a lot.
Nothing.
You know.
Far from the straight.
Yeah, indeed. It's a long way to the straight. He'll look across at Aston. There'll be a bit of standoff here. And remember, these guys know they're under the cameras, but they know their cards are going to be shown. But at the time, they've got to appear to have a strong hand, even if they have a weak one.
Yes.
You know, this is a psychological game, of course, as well. Now, Kenny's going to fold here for sure. The only way he gets away with anything is to re-raise, and you know. Aston's got the second best star in hand in poker.
Yeah,
He's
it's
flopped
king. He'll never fold.
fantastically, and
I
you
think
know.
if Kelly raises, Aston won't fall. He'll ship it.
Yeah, of course. If
Yeah.
Aston re-raises, sorry, if Kenny re-raises Aston's ships. Kenny's looking for a bit of a read over there as well, but he should know that Aston's not betting that light. Yeah, and eventually Kenny gives it up, which is a wise decision. But and Aston doesn't show
He
the
wouldn't
cards,
show.
but Kenny will be keen to see that on the stream in a half an hour's time, I'm sure. And you know, Kenny's still in the Millionaires Club. He's third in chips on the table still, so he's still got 1.1 million. A quick flip out the adder table. So, what are your plans, Amir, for the rest of the week here? You going to play any more events?
The main event, I'm still deciding on the what's it, Superslam.
Yeah, the 40K.
40K, 40K.
Yeah.
Deciding on that, I'll be playing the main event,
Uh huh.
and yeah, it's nice to once in 3 months. First time in Durban.
It's your first time.
No, this
Oh, the
Monsterjam.
tour, yeah, I'm going to say.
First time in Durban.
Yeah, very much so the first time in Durban.
A good crowd too we have.
Oh yeah, good people, very good people. I mean, Monsterjam would do a great job there.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
My first time was at the
Sun
Sun
City.
City.
Okay,
Sun City.
yeah, that was a nice event, huh?
I first time just jumped into the deep end and I made it to the bubble. Top
Really?
21 on the main event.
That's awesome. So big shout out to my wife who's reappeared. And we're getting our morning fruit platter, keep us healthy. Amir thinks this is all magic now. We're getting free food. Oh dear. So let's quickly look at the table. Jack 9 suited, raised from under the gun +1. Very strong move by Moise. And it's folded round to Rogers already. 6-4 off. 6-4 suited is not going to get any action. And I think Moise gets this through. Pick up a bit of dead money, or is Rogers feeling a bit sticky with, oh, no. He wants to defend his big blind. So we're going to the flop. All spades. And unsurprisingly, there are very few spades there. Of course, Rogers has now flopped the up and down straight draw. And this is actually a 50-50 chop at the moment, the split
Yes,
in terms
yes.
of percentages. I always call these gunfights. It's the first one to blink. So there's a bet and a call, 42,000.
Green.
There's not much help with the queen there, apart from no. In fact, there's no back doors appearing there at all. Still up, down, straight draw, and the jack's still ahead. Because that helps Rogers significantly.
Seven
His up,
straights.
down, straight draw gets there, and it's very well disguised as well. There's an ace on the board, and I think I don't think Moise's hero calling here. Depend on the sizing. 105 into a pot of 180. Yeah, he's sending a message. Look at, you look at Moise's face. He's rerunning the hand in his head, but I think Moise is going to fold.
He hasn't even hit the board.
No,
I mean, he'll fold.
And Rogers has not been out of line. I mean, he hasn't been caught out of line. Moise typically is chatting away across the table.
Right. Back. It's a long time to wait.
He's calling.
I bet you he's not. What you got there was going for chips, looking for a reaction from Rogers,
Oh.
and he was looking for the instant turnover, which would suggest that he has it.
Yes.
And he saw something. He was never calling there, trust me. Moise is an old fox, huh?
Small blind, big blind, 8, 16.
Okay, Moise is under the gun. Great view of the table, Amir.
Very good.
Great view. Our tech guys do a fantastic
nice
job
done
here.
by the camera team and technical viewers.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic tech team does it. And have you had a chance to be on the feature table yet?
I have.
Oh,
I
that's
have.
right, you have. Yes, of course, I did the
yeah,
commentary.
Yes.
Was I nice to you?
Definitely.
Oh,
You
okay.
said, well, I have very unlucky hands I had.
Yeah, indeed you did. I seem to recall that. You did have a few unlucky hands. But hey, it's not the table's fault, eh? You know, that's poker. You can't beat the variance, as they say. Okay, Was under the gun. Expect to see some action from Was here. He'll still be stinging from the last hand, of course. But I don't think suited connectors, particularly picture cards, are going to get past him from the under the gun position. I mean, standard raise here is between 25 and 30. He's going to chuck out 15 by the look of it. No, I might the first time. Raise to 35,000. Sun gets out of the way. Greg with a suited king. No. It's quite interesting to see people's ranges when you're sat here. Huh?
Yes.
What they're folding, what they're not folding, what they're calling with, in fact.
It's the best seat when playing poker.
This is an
seat. You're right.
education. In fact, I think we should start charging. Tech team, what do you think? We should start charging people to come in here. Yeah, we agreed.
Might get a call 4-5. Folds.
Yeah, a lot of suited connectors getting folded today. Huh?
I think the
Quite
blinds are a
interesting.
bit high.
Yeah, 16,000 on the blinds now. So, but the structure of this tournament's extremely good. It's very slow. It gives you time to build. And today is when the blinds bite back and the antes. Trust me, this is when they start to chase after you as we get into the upper levels. This is level 17, by the way, and each level is an hour. So there's a lot of poker been played already.
They finish off the game today.
Yep. Today we will finish. Doesn't matter
See
what
our
time.
winner.
We will see a winner today. Now, if you're in the technical team, in the commentary team, you're hoping that it's not going to be too late. But it depends on who the people are left at the table. You know, sometimes you get down to 2 or 3 and there'll be a deal done, particularly when the professionals are on the table. But sometimes there's no deals done and we get down a heads up. So it depends. My personal preference is an early night, but because that's why we're doing commentary all week. But you know, from a TV point of view,
Yes,
we want to see some drama. Anybody you fancy to win this? Anybody you know that you fancy, or you feel that got a good chance?
Difficult to say at this moment, but I would say either Sun or Abdul. There's still players on the other table that
sure.
has good stacks.
Yeah, sure. Well, we have an interesting. I'm stretching across here to get my paper, but Gareth Hudson, who was in the booth here yesterday with me,
Yes.
he picked Moaz, Abdul, and Cam. That was his 3 top ones. I picked David, Abdul, and Moaz, and David just recently went out, so I only have 2 horses in the race still. But I might try and pin you down before the end of the day and ask you what your top 3 are. Okay, so we can add you to the list. Okay. Lenny has raised this up with the pocket 7s, and Moaz has called it off with the suited connectors. And Moaz hits his queen. Interesting check back from Moaz there with the queen, huh? Especially with the hearts on board. Another heart.
Oh,
no.
this will change it.
Indeed, another heart. Change the thing. It slows it down, huh?
Definitely pulls the break up.
Yeah. And the river card is the 3 of diamonds. So Moaz is good. Yeah, Lenny sensibly checks and Moaz makes sure he's not getting trapped there. With a heart, doesn't get too fruity and just takes down Edgar. And it looks like Jared Solomon has started to build himself a stack. He was very short yesterday. He was all in several times on the feature table. I don't know what his starting stack was this morning. I can check and have a look at the starting stacks for this morning. Jared Solomon started with 345,000, and that's one of the smaller stacks. So looks like he's been doing a little bit of work, having a grind. Okay, I think looking at the tech team, I think our stream should be online now. We've been up and running for just under an hour. So Greg under the gun, 16,000 to call. Lenny's got rid of it. Rogers 16 to call. Ace 8. Okay, that's the end of the hand, and Rogers picks up a profit of 40 there. No real action to report upon there. And I can confirm that our live stream with the 30-minute delay is now online, and we've already got a few people watching. So Sean Schumann down in Schoolman, my Afrikaans is terrible, down in Port Elizabeth. Blaster, good morning. Johan de Graaf up in Johannesburg. Johan, nice to see you on the stream. Haggai, the Googleator, nice to see you online. Donny as well, and of course Bozo's online there looking as well. Sorry that you're out of the tournament, David, but you're always welcome here. Lenny Freeman with the pocket twos. Do you ever watch Disney?
Not so
Donald
much.
Duck. He has 3 boys, Huey, Louie and Dewey. That's Huey and Louie. We're looking for Dewey.
I think he raised with his pocket fold.
No idea. He's got twos. I mean, he's in a very early position. You know, what's he going to do if someone re-raises them with pocket twos, you know?
Yes.
You may as well just get rid of them early, and I like that. So I'd get rid of them.
Oh, there's one too.
And Kenny's got one of his outs, and of course Kenny's folding 7-2 all day. Was with that 8-3 on the button, not going to get too sticky, so hand it over to the blinds. We can't see Mr. Sun's cards at the moment, but they look like they're in the box, so we'll perhaps pick up the signal in a minute. Greg watching intensely. So there's a little raise from the small blind. Greg's got Queen 5 in the big blind, and he knows that he can't defend the big blind here for 35k, so he's going to have to fold.
Yeah, fold.
Yeah, we didn't see Mr. Sun's cards, but not to worry. I suspect he's got an ace,
King.
queen, ace, jack hand there or something.
Yes.
Once again, broken to arrive at Sibaya Casino. For players that are playing in the Superslam, your prize pool is now up and available. Top prize is 722.
Okay, Aston's under the gun here.
And those players that are playing
Jack 6. Don't think Aston's going to play the game here.
If there's any players who'd like to get into the high roller, we are now actually set like into the high roller 1,500 next year.
51,000.
Looks like Kenny just called there with the ace queen. I'm surprised. I thought he might have raised. Okay, our softener must have been wrong there. Just a call. That can't be right. You can't call and then win. And yeah, not to worry. Picks up 40,000 chips, and we'll move on. So 3 millionaires at the top of the board. No real fireworks yet, Amira.
Nothing.
No big hands.
No big hands.
But You know, patience is a virtue in this game. Trust me, it'll happen, and then all of a sudden there's like an explosion of hands, and
Can
you
you
know.
get one guy sitting on aces, one guy sitting on kings at the same time?
Yeah, that's always a
That's
bit of
always
fun. Standard shoves there, money goes in, eh?
Yes.
I'm trying to log on to the feed here, but just to see your comments, but for some reason I think it's my computer skills rather than the the stream. Okay, Kenny got Jack 5 here. Was has woke up with his King Queen, King Jack, Queen
he
Jack.
raised.
It's doing it all the time, huh?
He raised.
Yeah, I think you're right.
35,000.
And it seems to be the standard raise is 35,000, huh? Have you
35.
have you noticed that?
A lot of them.
And that's just
30.
over the min raise. The min raise is 32, of course, with
Yes,
the
yes.
16 and the big. So 35 seems to be the stock raise at the table at the moment. Mr. Sun in the cutoff is getting a bit frisky here with 8-10.
Generally, that's a folding. I'll fold that hand. The blind's so high.
And you would think that, wouldn't you? But this is where these top guys differ from us mere mortals. You know? So Aston gets out of the way. And Mars calls. So Mars doesn't call, obviously. He raised and Huawei Sun called. And on the flop, so I missed the flop cam there, 6-9-2.
Why went out?
So he's got Huawei's got a gut shot. 4 on the flop. Sorry, 4 on the turn. Mr. Sun has bet 36,000 here. Tricky move. And Morris gets away from that. So you see, 10-8 is a good hand at the end of the day. He ended up with, well, he had a gut shot straight draw, and what he's doing is representing a bigger hand there, an overpair. That's what he's doing, and he's got Morris to fold.
Yes.
So good poker, really.
I'm sure if he checked, Mars will raise.
Yeah,
So
for sure. So Kenny under the gun here, Jack 3, they're in the muck. 10-7, the favourite hand of Daniel Negreanu. You watch any of Daniel Negreanu online?
haven't.
Okay, Daniel Negreanu, Canadian poker pro, second most winningest player in the world, so in terms of tournaments. Next to Justin Bonhomme, and a great ambassador for the game. And this is his favourite hand, 10-7 suited. So always remember that. Okay, Lenny looks down on the button, and you know, in the strongest position, he doesn't want to fold, but no, he knows that Queen 2 is not in good shape. Small blind Queen 9 from Aston. He either completes here or he raises to try and steal the blinds off of Rogers to his left. And it's check, so small and big blind. A call and a check. This is going to be quite interesting. They both hit the Queen.
1-9, 1-8. High card.
There's a bet of 50. And a snap call as predicted. Sorry, 20. And dealer just sorting out the change. Okay, so the 9 is still playing here.
Oh, straight.
And a straight for Rogers. How things change, yeah?
Oh.
He makes the straight on the river. What a crazy game this is, eh? So Rogers bets 100k, and Aston's looking down and thinking, what just happened? Because that's so disguised, and you know, it's a one guard straight, and you know, you can't blame Aston if he calls this off.
Yeah.
Okay, so the blinds are up, new level. We're up to round 18. We're going to let that screen run for a little bit so we can see the prize pool as well. But the blinds are now up to 10,000, 20,000, 20,000 on big blind ante. And there's the newsflash, folks. 722,000 for first place, 541,000 for second place, 361,000 for third place, and fourth place, 180,000. Nice prize pool, Amira.
Even second place is good.
Yeah. I'll take fourth. I'm quite happy with that sort of money. So a great prize pool, huh? So it's top four. This will change a little bit of the strategies. 14 players left.
Total 35 entries.
Yeah, so the 35 entries, that's why there's only 4 being played. But a lot of money, huh? 700,000. Sure. Buy yourself a small house for that.
700,000 for 60,000.
We'll take it, huh? We'll take it. And there were only, I think there were 2, maybe 3 players who bought in twice. One of them's at the table. We don't need to say who, but there's at least one player at this table who bought in twice, so they'll be looking to get their money back for sure. But I think they've got to get third prize to get their money back and make a profit, but we'll see.
8-6 followed by Sun.
And Lenny's all in. King 2 in the cutoff. Now it's not a very strong hand, but what's happened here is it's been folded around to him. So he knows he only has to get through 4 players. Well, Roger's got 659 behind. We don't know what his cards are.
King 2, not a strong hand on my side.
No, he was pulling a move here. He's just looking to push 4 players off the hand. And Rogers folds. Kenny folds his Jack 4. And there you go. Then he gets it through.
What does?
You know, he wouldn't have done that from under the gun, trust me. There's no way with all those other players to come.
13 big blinds from Len Freeman.
So I can now confirm that the stream is up and running. And we thank you for your comments, we thank you for your input, we thank you for your constructive criticism, albeit we'd rather hear your compliments. I'm actually currently watching live myself on the, or should I say, on the side here, on the Facebook platform. And we have our other people in the team monitoring the Twitch platform and of course the YouTube platform. And welcome to everybody on the stream. I see the numbers are jumping up for early on a Monday morning. I think we've got 37 people currently watching on Facebook. Usually a similar number on the other platforms. Do you watch it? Do you watch the stream, Amir?
I watch it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Watch it. Sometimes I prefer to watch than play.
That's because you like the sound of my voice, is it? I don't know. And what do you think of the stream? You know, there's a lot of work goes into this. I mean, you're behind the scenes here for the first time. A lot of equipment here, huh?
A lot of equipment. That's why I say heads off to the technical team. They've done a great job.
Hear that? You got a fan over here, guys? Don't be too nice to them, otherwise they'll want more money. And we'll have to feed them chocolate and buy them food and stuff. So, you know, I like to keep them in their box and don't let them out unless they're good. But absolutely, all joking aside, Marius and Marcel here, M&M's, do a fabby job. Do a fabby job. And we're going to the outside table very quickly. Rudolph looks like he's on his feet. Who's counting chips? I don't know, the pot's all in. So we're seeing the turn in the river. And Rudy's on the walk. shake of the hand from Abdul. I suspect that means Abdul's collecting chips again. And our field gets smaller. So just for the viewers out there, final table will be 10 people. We only normally have 9 on the feature table, but when we get down to 10, we will go to final table. And then the action will start again, you know, for sure. A good spot by the technical team out there, seeing Rudy on his feet. And he's a loss to the tournament, Rudy. I don't know if you know Rudy, but he's just poker mad. He loves his poker. I consider him one of the older gentry of poker, like I consider myself. And I'm sure he won't mind. He's in the over 50s clubs, as am I. And there's still a few of us out there kicking around, trying to make a living with this crazy game we love. Okay, Aston in hijack folds his 5-3. Rogers with the 9-6 off. So it's a round to Kenny. Kenny with King Queen. I think we'll see some action from Kenny, yeah?
Definitely. Ace 10. I'm guessing the son will call.
Yeah, flat call's in order here. I think a flat call is the right move. You're absolutely right. So we've got the big blind defended and the button. Ace 10, King. So currently ace high is ahead, but there's a backdoor flush draw there. This will go check check again. And there's the queen on the river, and Kenny makes top pair. He'll bet out 100 plus, and Mr. Sun will just fold. Yeah, 103. And I think so. Kenny's lucky on the river there, but I think both guys just happy to see a check down to the river there, that nothing was helping. And you know, they don't want to get involved. So James Metoa on the feed there. James is a very, very good dealer on the Johannesburg circuit. John Ambrosi, I know you're coming down on Thursday, Johnny. So travel safely, and I'm sure we'll see Rosa as well with you. Lydia, nice to see you on the stream again, Lydia. Very big supporter of our online poker and poker stream, and obviously a good player. See her a lot in the Johannesburg circuit. So you must put me as one of your Facebook friends, Amir.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
And then I'll be able to see you more easily. You can't hide on the stream. What I'm alluding to there, folks, is if you're a Facebook friend of mine, you come up in green writing. If you're not a friend, you come up in blue writing. So feel free to send me your friend request. You'll know if I like you or not, because I won't respond. I'll be filtering.
So how long have you been doing this commentary for?
Actually, not as long as it might appear. You know, we started the stream last year, I think it was, and I've been involved now for 4 or 5 events, and I think, you know, we're just building all the time. We're advancing our technology and our knowledge of the game.
Yes.
And of course, it does help to know the players, you know.
Definitely. Yes, it does.
You know, most of them are actually friends of mine. We play a lot of poker together, particularly up north. But oh, here we go. Mr. Sun's got jacks. I mean, traditional is that you should raise here, but a lot of people limp these, or you know, just tend not to get involved. But Mr. Sun, what would you do? You're a raiser with jacks, or a caller with jacks?
You know, it depends on the blinds, what the blinds are. But now you'll have to raise.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're absolutely right there, Amir. Of course, Mr. Sun has got a good image, so.
If an ace hits on the flop, what will happen? It changes.
Oh, for sure.
Small blind, big blind, 10, 20.
And Mr. Sun picks up all the dead money. Profit of 91,000, and his raise gets through.
Listen. Good. If you tell me, I must believe you. It's a verification.
Okay, on to the next hand.
Ask him. Always, Mr. Sun. Always I tell you about the big English words.
The problem is,
Aston under the gun.
You explain me.
This is hand number 24 of the day, and we're 10,000, 20,000 on the big blind ante and 20,000 on the big blind. And our 24th hand of the day on the feature table. And pictures brought to you today by South Africa Card Stream. It is our privilege to be here supporting the Monsterjam Poker Tour and bringing you this delayed stream, albeit live, of the Superslam 60k buy-in. This is day 3. We're getting down to the business end. 4 players get paid, 700,000 up top in the prize pool. And we'll be going to 1 table and a redraw when we get down to 10 players. I think we're currently at 14. So Mr. Sun has the Kings here, the old Cowboys. Jack's the last hand, Cowboys this end. Must be good to be him, eh?
Definitely, Mr. Sun. Was raised with Jack 9. So Mr. Sun will re-raise. Or will call. What would you do generally?
I'm re-raising all day here, was. You never know what he's got. He's splashing around the pot in the cutoff there, looking to steal the blinds there. This is the second time he's been caught doing that, you know, and it was Jack 9 the last time as well.
Yes.
So Lenny's going to get rid of that rubbish, and Mars has also folded this time. He's not going to hang around this time. He knows he's been caught.
He got lucky with the straight last time.
He did indeed. So Mars is still up the top there with 25% of the chips in play, 1.4 million. Mr. Sun very close behind him, and Kenny's still in the Millionaire Club with 1,100,000. And Lenny's our short stack now. So it's not short, but he's short.
But he's short, yeah.
And you know, you'll know yourself, you've got to adapt your game to the short stack.
Yes.
Yeah. You saw Lenny already shove once in position.
He'll do this now. Just now he will. He has to build up that stack.
Yeah, indeed.
Blinds are 10, 20 hands.
And that's not cheap, eh? Not cheap. Welcome and good morning to Peter Khan. Just joined the stream. Nice to see you online, Peter. Best regards to you and your family. What do you think of my chairs? Nice, eh? We had to sit on those hard chairs, but we stole these from the outside. Actually, stole's the wrong word, but they're on temporary loan. Yeah, so we got some nice comfy chairs in here for a change. Normally sit on those high back chairs that you see over there. And of course we're getting well looked after by my good lady wife, with our fruit and sweets and food and all the rest of it. It's just a joy to have a nice nice working environment.
Yes,
You know?
definitely better than the one you had at Sunset Sea.
That was a little box in the back. Yeah. Okay, Lenny's got ace queen here. Money goes in.
Definitely.
Bang, straight away. He doesn't mess around, Lenny, huh? Let's see if he gets a customer. And that gets round. He's got 200,000 and some change. It's like 10 bigs, you know. Moving day,
So
trying
I'm
to get
sure
moving.
every ace king, ace queen, he's shoving.
Yeah, for sure. But in position, I mean, you know, if let's just say he's sort of in the cutoff, and there's been a raise and a re-raise, and he's sitting there with Jack 10 suited, he can fold that because you know he doesn't want to get involved with a raise and a re-raise.
Yeah, he's sitting on 200, he's not on 100s.
But if he sits in the cutoff and it's been limped back to him and he sat there with Jack 10, I fancy a shove, you know.
Yes.
So you know, it's all about what the action is, who's involved, the position, etc.
Kelly should call this.
Is that just a limp, Amir? Yeah, I think so. No, he's raised it to 55. Now he's a hero in my mind because I'm a Jack 10 man.
Ace
Uh-oh.
king.
But Greg's got 320 behind. I fancy a shove here. Money goes in. Yeah. You want to make the decision simple for the opposite player now. You're either going to call it or not. We're not going to mess around with flops and turns and rivers.
Fold by Kenny.
And you know, Kenny doesn't need any TV time. He knows that Greg's not shoving like there, so he just gives up very, very quickly, and rightly so. Good play.
What was Kenny's starting stack? 1-3-2-5. So he's actually gone down.
Yeah, he's lost a couple of hands, Kenny, but you know, he's in no danger whatsoever.
No
Of course,
danger,
you know, that's just the ups and downs of poker, I think. You know. So we got Steve Schumann. He says Aston for the win. Big Neville Governor. Well, Amir, go boy. Big Nev Governor. He's sending you a message on
Neville.
the stream.
Thanks, Neville.
Well, you see, Nev.
Great guy.
Big Nev. When are you going to come visit us in the back office here, Nev, and give us the benefit of some of your own comments? Most welcome anytime. David on the stream there. Moon Khan back. Geez, Moon, you can stay away. I thought you were getting on a plane to London today.
Queen Jack by Mr. Sun.
And Donnie as well. Nice to see you online, Donnie.
I'm surprised Mr. Sun folded Queen Jack. Was it a raise?
He's probably in early position there. So Lenny with the Queen 10 in the cutoff. Yeah, I mean, it's not quite strong enough to get all your chips in with. And Lenny's not stupid. He's not going to hoy them all in. Rogers with the small blind. It looks like he's just completed. And Kenny checks it. So small and big. Ace side good at the moment. Kenny bets, and Rogers is going to just get rid of that rubbish.
Ten-3, Kenny bets. He's just like asking a question if he hit the board
Yeah.
or not. See if that
Well,
answers
what
it.
he's actually doing is saying, "I hit the board." Did you?
Oh yeah, really.
And you know, blind on blind, and you know, nobody hits the boards. Then you know, it's the gunfight scenario. First one to blink, and then the other one's away. You know, so yeah, no problem with that. Standard poker. I love Aston, dead chilled at the top of the picture there, plugged into his music, just relaxing. Always a joy to chat with Aston. He's just a lovely fella.
Playing poker on a Monday.
Monday morning, what
Monday
else would you rather
morning,
be
yes.
doing? Could be worse, you could be working. Could be worse, you could be working. Oh, King 2, Mr. Sun on the gun, they're going in the muck. What's Greg got? 10-5 suited, you won't fancy any of that. And then he's 10-2 is following that very quickly. And Aston with the King 10 in the cutoff, he might just fancy a flat here.
52,000.
That's a raise.
That's a raise up to 52. So standard raising has now gone up to 52. And Woz has been very quiet, huh? He's gone to sleep over there. He's tried to pull a few moves and hasn't got away with it, so
He says, he'll just sit back and wait.
yeah, he'll sit back and wait. And Woz is a top player, so you know, I have no problem. And you know, Queen 8 suited isn't a bad defender in the big blind in my mind. You know, you've got suited cards, they can run well, Queen 8, and hold up well on the flop. So you know, and he's rewarded.
And yes.
He's rewarded. So he's got